Uncle Trev and the Lightbulb by Jack Lasenby. What are you doing? My mother said. That lightbulb's dead. Anyway, I thought I told you not to play around with the electricity. I'm just putting it in there so there's something in the socket, I told her. Well, you needn't bother. I want you to go down to the shop for me. You can get yourself a new bulb while you're about it. Yeah, I said. But you've got to keep something in the socket. Why? Because Uncle Trev said so. Said what? Asked my mother. Come on, what's that uncle of yours been telling you now? He said if you don't have a bulb in the socket and you turn on the switch, all the electricity inside the wire runs out into your room. It what? I explained it again. I've never heard the like of it, my mother said. There's more daft ideas inside that man's head than there are days in the year. Where on earth did he get that one from? Oh, it's true, I said. It's got to be. Otherwise, why do you have a switch? The electricity doesn't work unless there's something in the socket, Mum said. Something to do with it being a circuit. The man from the power board told me. It goes round and round like water, he said. You have a switch to stop it from being wasted. Yes, I said. Uncle Trev says it's like water too, but he said what happens to the electricity in the wire when you take the bulb out and leave the switch on. He reckons it's like leaving a tap running. It's got to go somewhere, he says. Oh, I don't know. Here, run down to the shop. Get the bread and paper. Get yourself a light bulb and put it in. Perhaps that will stop you worrying. What size? 40's all you need. In any case, you shouldn't be reading in bed till all hours, straining your eyes. Uncle Trev says his old pressure lamp's better for reading by, I said. He reckons kerosene lamps are better than anything, because they give a softer light. He says we don't know much about electricity yet. You could have been down to the shop and back a dozen times while you've been standing there talking, Mum said. Why your uncle thinks he knows anything about electricity, I don't know. Isn't he the only farmer out on his road who won't have the electricity put on? And isn't that only because he's scared of it? Well, she said. Are you going to get that light bulb or not? I ran to the shop. Uncle Trev was just coming out the door. I'll give you a lift home, if you hurry, he said. Take your time. I never quite knew exactly what Uncle Trev meant. When I came out with the light bulb, he looked at it and said, I hope you left the dead bulb in the socket. Yeah, but Mum said it's nonsense about the electricity running out of the socket and leaking into the room. Well, he said, she's a knowledgeable woman, your mother, and he drove round to our place. Power board's talking of putting up poles along our road, he said, as we pulled up. But they want everyone to say they'll have the power on before they'll do it. They'll never get me to have electricity running all through my house, leaking out of the light sockets, just waiting for a chance to give me a shock, he said as we went along the side of the house. What's all this nonsense I hear about electricity running out of light sockets? Mum demanded the moment we got in the door. Nonsense, is it? Uncle Trev said. I'll tell you what, when we come in that back door, I could tell there was a switch left on somewhere in your house by the way the hair stood on the back of my neck. There's no surer sign. I ran my hand up the back of my neck. My hair's standing on end too, I said. That's because you've just had it cut, said my mother. Now you go at once and put that bulb in your light and make sure you pull the switch off first. I looked at the light cord hanging from beside the switch in the middle of the room. Couldn't remember whether I'd pulled it on or off. Maybe Uncle Trev was right. Maybe the room was full of electricity that had leaked out and was running around waiting to electrify me when I put in the bulb. I went back to the kitchen. Well, Mum said, is it better? I said nothing. Well, she said again. She saw the light bulb in my hand. Oh, what's the matter now? Why haven't you put it in? You can reach it if you stand on a chair. Oh, I can't remember whether I pulled the cord on or off, I said. Oh, I never heard the like of it. Mum snatched the bulb out of my hand. I'll do it myself. Then I'll be sure it's done. It's like talking to yourself, expecting anyone to do anything around this place. As she stormed out to my room, Uncle Trev jumped up and turned off something on the switchboard by the back door. He just sat down again when Mum came back. That's funny, she said. That bulb you bought must be dead. You'll have to take it back and change it. I can't get it to go. I went out with her, pulled on the light cord, and the bulb went on. "Oh, it's all right," I said. Pulled it off again. I pulled it, and the light went on. Probably I've got more electricity in my body through sleeping in here without the bulb in the socket. The switch must have been on, so it was all leaking into the room, just like Uncle Trev said. Here, Mum pulled the cord. The bulb was dead. What's going on? Here, you have a go. I pulled the cord, and the light came on. I pulled it off. Mum had another go. Again, the bulb was dead. We went out to the kitchen. Uncle Trev was standing up from the table, as if coming out to help us. Don't you go touching it, Mum told him. It's bound to go wrong if you lay a finger on it. She tried the kitchen light, and it went on. There, she said, and marched out to my room. Uncle Trev leapt and turned off something on the switchboard. Mum almost caught him that time. She swept back in, but thought he was coming to help again. I don't know what it could be, she said. You'd better have another go. When I told her it worked, she said, Oh well, it's your light after all, so it doesn't matter which or whether you can get it to go or not, I suppose. I was reading somewhere, said Uncle Trev, in the Herald or maybe the Weekly News, that some people have more electricity in their bodies than others. I'm sure there's still a lot for us to understand about it. He looked at me and rubbed the side of his nose. I didn't dare rub mine back at him, because Mum was watching me. Anyway, she said, it's a blessing the power when it works. I'm sure it must be, said Uncle Trev.